Fansu, thank you so much for joining me today to talk a little bit about Stand Your Ground. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm really, really good. Excited to talk to you about this film. Action films are really fun to watch, and I was really curious to talk because we have all these amazing action sequences taking place in one house, and I think it was fascinating. Tell me a little bit. First of all, I know this isn't your first time working with Daniel Stinson. You guys worked together on Last Man Down. What made him so easy to work with then that you brought him back for for another film? Sorry.
Yeah, first of all, he's very physical. He makes all his stunts himself, so that's one of the best parts, to be honest. And also, it's not that many, in films that has his physique as well. So it's, it was a privilege to work with him in that case. And we're also from Scandinavia as well. He's from Norway, I'm from Sweden, so you have this bond more or less.
Ah, okay. And also he has this really kind of stoic kind of presence to him where you can only have so many actors that you'd believe would be able to handle a situation like we see in Stand Your Ground.
Yeah, exactly. So he was perfect for a role.
Yeah, so tell me what attracted you to this project because it seems like it's be a challenging take to take an action film like I was saying earlier and to kind
Mhm.
of confine it all to spaces to one location really where everything's happening.
Yeah, so the most exciting for me was the law, the standard ground law that was quite new for me. So I had to dig deeper because you can only find this law in the States. And also, combined with the script. For me, I usually tell people that it was like an R-rated version of Home Alone when I read it. So that was like very intriguing for me.
You know,
Uh,
no, go ahead. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought that too while I was watching it. It seems like a very violent, adult, more action-oriented version of Home Alone. I like it.
yeah. I mean, it's almost like if Sergio Leone made Home Alone in his version. That was like my mindset going into the project. And it's always nice, to have a house. And somehow, coincidence was that the story, not the story, but the style is very similar to our first film, also based around, a cabin or a house, So it was quite fun, to go back and make something different, but similar.
Yeah, yeah, I guess that does help. The experience builds on a little bit. Um, so you worked in film. Was this your second feature film? Was there
Yeah,
more? Okay.
second one. Yeah.
So what has attracted you to the genre of action that's where you wanted to start? There's a lot involved in it that I
Yeah,
recommend you.
yeah, I mean, I've always done action, so I've done extremely many short films. Even some music videos I made back in the days had action as well. So action has always been my you know bread and butter in that case. So I'm really going for action. I'm almost obsessed when it comes to action films. So I really want to amp up the game and become better and better and scale up. That's my goal.
Good, good. We need somebody in charge that's obsessed with the genre to make the films. What are some of your keys personally and what makes a good action film?
I mean, it's characters, the action, the pace, and and the style as well, because it's so different. Everyone has their own style of action. So I'm very happy, with the style that came out of it because it's, became quite personal. Because I also, I'm not only the director, I also edit all my films.
Oh
That's
yeah, so
something. So so I have that package, if you can call it, because I can use the same style all the way, and have full control of the style and everything and the pace.
wow, that's great. It really, I guess, streamlines the workflow when you know what you want there, and then you're able to take it in the cutting room. Um, what is your process for developing an action sequence? Because I mean, even here, they're like you're saying, we're setting up certain things that we're talking kind of Home Alone like. we're setting up different walkthroughs that your actors are going through, explosions, gunshots. What is your process for developing each of these sequences?
Yeah, so we start with the stunt team. So they rehearse, in their home base more or less, in a similar place, and then they make a previs. They send it to me. We discuss, what can be added or what is going to be kept in the video based on the screenplay, and then from that part, the stunt team trains the actors if it's needed, and so that they understand what happens. And I mean, the fastest and the easiest part is when we only have stuntmen. There are certain scenes, when we have a group of attackers, for example, and all those people are stuntmen. Then there's no need to, involve the training with the actors. So that's one way. And then, when I make all the edits, for example, I always work with at least two cameras. So I make all the editing when we shoot, first in my head, and then, when I begin my work, I just, put everything together, and then, the music on top to find a good balance. So yeah, I mean, and probably, for each scene is very different, but it's always streamlined with, stunt work and then feedback from that.
Yeah, and how much sound do you add post shooting? Because I've had the privilege of being behind the scenes to see how some sound editors work, and the way that it's interesting to see how the way sometimes it's shot versus then
Mm.
they get their hands on it and then it's edited, and then it's like, oh wow, that's so much more sound that was added post, and it really sometimes makes the scenes that more dynamic.
Yeah, I would say maybe 90%, added. I mean, all the dialogue is, the actors, but everything else except the dialogue, all the foley and, sound, special effects, sound effects, it's added. Footsteps, birds, wind, all that is, constructed for the film. And then you have a layer of music as well on top of that, so it's that's why, sound is so important.
Yeah, it's so amazing, and that's why I wanted to ask because sometimes I know that it can go over somebody's head when they're watching the film because it's all put together, right? It's this nice meal that you created, but when you
Mm.
peel back the layers, you really see the genius behind everything and all the work that goes into, it, and I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, hard work, and, the longest work is, the post production. That's, it really takes time.
Now, tell me, what is it something that you learned from doing Last Man Down, some of the lessons you carried from doing that film, now coming over to Stand Your Ground, that made your process maybe a little bit easier?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one was, to be able to work faster, when we have this experience. That was the biggest one, and also, really, believing in yourself in all areas. How far you can go, and, the first time is always more scary because you have no idea, how much time you need. This time, I knew with that experience, how long my, edit takes, VFX, sound, music, so I could, pre-plan that work. So that's, yeah, those parts is probably, the most valued ones.
That's amazing. Last question. Was
Yep.
there anything, any maybe weapon or sequence that you wanted to try or do that you got to it and went, no, it's a little maybe too big, too much?
No, actually not. I mean, it was just fun to have all this, different weapons to play with. The minigun and, shotguns and, you know machine guns. So that was, yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah, mini guns are always a great time, especially when they're coming out. I love that. I love those sequences. They were great. I love the way that your scenes, your action sequences escalate, making it kind of fresh as the film goes on, and it makes for I think a really good watch as far as action is concerned. Peter Stormare, of course, is a great villain and we
Mm.
love to see him. So yeah, thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I enjoyed talking to you about your process, and we hope to see you on a whole lot more action films.
Thank you.